Okay, good morning. We are back on official farm business this week. We are sorting cattle out. We've got baby calves. We've got them milking in the lean-to at home. So we're going to take you back and have a look at that in a minute and go through some of the plans of what I've got going forward and see what you guys think. So basically in the sheds here now, we've just had a bit of a sort out, and what we've kept in the sheds are, we've got the 2 pregnant Herefords, which we removed from the bunch that were with the bull. We put them in the field at my house because they're about a month, 6 weeks off, and they kept walking through the fences. So quite clearly didn't want to be there. So we brought them in the shed here, and then we can keep an eye on them now because Mark is down, or I am down here, one of the 2, every day of the week. So we can keep an eye on how they're going. Now, I don't really understand this, but Mark said they're starting to bag up, which generally means they're about 4 weeks off. And as I understand it, starting to bag up or hog in means the milk is starting to come through and the bag underneath is starting to fill with milk now, getting ready. So them 2 are in here, 1 so we can keep an eye on them, 2 because they're assholes. And then we've got a little Hereford, we've got a little blue. The little blue set about Mark when we first had it, so we brought that in because we don't trust it to be out. We've got a Limmy steer that we've left in this side, and we put with the blue. So we're trying to bring these little baby blues on a little bit more, and we've got the 2 really good Angus, one there, one there. They're probably some of our better animals they are, which we're going to try and take through to finish. But the Limmy that we've put in here is the one that kept jumping the gates all the time, so that is 2, an arsehole and can't be trusted outside. The plan is now, this side is going to have silage and corn to help bring them on a bit better. And this side is just going to have silage because that's more than enough to keep them going. So what we've done is we've just removed 2 from that side, from the steers, and we've moved 8 from this side, which were the heifers, and they have now gone in the trailer, and we're going to put them out on the grass that we've got up at the far end. So we'll have 10 in their own little group. There's some smaller paddocks that we can just keep sending them round. So we're going to kit them out, and then we'll go back and see the baby calves. Okay, so one thing that we're trying out now is a little bit of calf rearing. Now, this again is brand new to us. So we've, as you know, on the farm, we've got just under 2,000 pigs in the 2 sheds. We've got all the store cattle that we've been out and bought for beef, that we've got either out at field, the ones with the bull so that we can breed them, or we've got the ones in the shed that we're going to finish. Then we've got the handful of sheep with the lamb in. And the next thing really that I wanted to try was calf rearing. So this is where I'm interested now in what you guys have got to say. So I don't know whether you are or are not from a farming background, but one of the things, like I say, we're interested in doing is calf rearing. Now, we've done a couple of brand new calf rearing setups or enterprises that we've built throughout the UK, but generally there doesn't seem to be a massive amount of new investment going into a calf rearing enterprise. And what I mean by that is, for argument's sake, if we take the pig rearing, which is what we do on a bed and breakfast service, there's a lot of people that have either gone into that or gone into poultry. There's a lot of farms that we go to throughout the UK when we're doing other buildings and bits and bobs that have existing buildings, and they're trying to make the most of the space that they've got, so they're having a go at calf rearing, which is what we are now doing within this lean-to. And normally we keep this for straw, for overflow storage, we keep implements, we keep bits of bobs in it, but then we thought, well, let's use this space at the minute and see how we get on trying a little bit of calf rearing on a very small scale. Like with the pigs, a purpose-built setup is, or poultry, a purpose-built unit that's specifically just for that use. So with pigs or poultry, there is quite a large level of investment required in order to get you on the ladder in terms of to be able to get the numbers to make it worthwhile. With calf rearing, we're not really seeing a massive amount of that. We've done a couple of sites, and there was one in particular that I really did like, and it was quite a simple setup in terms of animal welfare. It was fantastic, it was light, it was airy, there was plenty of breeze, and as a producer they were probably one of the better producing farms for the firm that provide a similar service as what we have here with the pigs, i.e. a bed and breakfast. So what they've got is an arrangement where they've got a building that is quartered, and that building has got a milk machine in the middle. So you put milk powder into the machine, you mix that with warm water, it goes through automatically, and the calves have got collars on with a digital reader, and when they go in to the nipple where the milk is fed from, that will monitor and give the calf exactly what it needs in terms of milk. So it's making sure it's having enough. If, for argument's sake, the calf was not having enough milk, the computer would tell us. Now, a little bit more of an old-fashioned way of doing it is what we're doing here. So we're making the most now out of this lean-to building that we've got, and what we've done over the course of probably the last 2 or 3 months is mainly Mark has bought like 10 calves in a go from the market just round the corner. He's brought them into a pen. They come in at anywhere between 14 and 28 days old, and then if they had been with the mother they would have been on milk, so we give them the replacement, which is milk powder and water. So we give them that, so we bring them in, they're really small when they come in, and then we take them from that. After about 4 or 5 weeks we wean them off onto nuts, and then when they're big enough, about 3 months old, we then put them out onto grass. So our first bunch have now gone out onto the grass. Our second bunch are probably halfway through the cycle of being in the shed, and then I went to buy 10 more yesterday and come back with 22, which Mark was not overly happy about, because now we've got twice as many than we should have had in that batch. But I think we've got the room, and I think it was fine. But Mark's basically saying, well, we're going to run out of room when we come to put straw in, because now the idea was to empty the shed for the straw. So if any of you out there are doing calf rearing, what I'm interested in, is it worth the investment of a new purpose-built setup, or do you make the most out of what building spaces that you've got? So comment if you've got an answer to that question. So basically the process is, I haven't got round to putting the water supply over here, so we take these 2 blue drums, we walk all the way across to the far shed, we fill them with fresh water, we bring them back, we put them in the urn, as in the tea urn. Unfortunately there's no tea bags or nothing down here, it is just milk powder. So we've got the milk powder here, which basically this is replacing the milk what it would have had from its mum. And then we put a couple of scoops of that into the yellow bucket. We put the same amount of cold water as the same amount of boiling water, make it lukewarm, and we drop it in this milk feeder here. And on the other side of that, you can see all around here, there's all these little nipples which imitate the teats on the udder of a cow. So basically pour that in, they'll all go absolutely crazy for it. On top of the milk, what we do is we also give them some early weaner pellets. Weaner, like a baby, they're going from a liquid diet, as in milk liquid diet, and you're weaning them off onto pellets, onto grass. And then obviously once we've done, we've put them in the little paddock across there, which is the first time they've ever been on grass, and we continue a little bit with the nuts, and we'll continue that for months yet. So these are the first ones that we've brought through the shed from baby calves through. And you see the size difference, so you see how much they grow, quite a lot in a short period of time. What we've done is we've brought these out, and like I say, we keep on top of these with the nuts as well. And we've stuck to Angus, Hereford and Blue. I think really, because if we're going to keep any of these on, They're easier for us, I think, here to weather. Limousines and stuff don't weather very well through the winter outside, so obviously we've got to bring them into shed, and we haven't got masses of shed space, so these won't be able to stay out over the winter months, but obviously we can weather, if we keep any of them on, them next year. So doing what we're doing here, like I say, we're just really dipping our toe in the water. What my plan is, once I've put my pen to paper, done my designs and layouts, which I've done some of, and Simon is just costing the buildings for me now at work, is the calf rearing enterprise side of things. I want a fair size operation on that. So what I've done is I've approached 3 different firms basically to see what sort of monies that they are offering. So if we went along the lines of a bed and breakfast service like we do with the pigs, what sort of money we can expect. Now funnily enough, there's 2 of the 3 that are exactly the same money per calf space, and there's 1 that apparently I can earn twice as much money from per calf space. The problems, I'm not going to name these by the way, but you'll probably know who they are. One of them massively helps out from a cash flow perspective because we don't have to buy the calf, but the one that we don't have to buy the calves and they help us with cash flow and give us almost like a monthly fee, we can't run any of our own calves through the same system. So that doesn't really suit me either, because I want the opportunity to buy some at the market and see how we get on doing them that way. The other 2 we can do that, but I'm not necessarily convinced at the minute that they can cope with the numbers, because the setup that I want to put up will be for around about 800 calves in a year, and I want it geared up as well that I've got the option of increasing that going forward if it goes to plan. But it'll be quite a heavy level of investment, and that's where I keep coming back down to when I keep doing the sums and working it back of what I think the sheds are likely to cost, the groundworks and all the associated infrastructure that we're going to need. It's like a 20-25 year payback, which, okay, it's not the end of the world because I'm so young, but on the flip side to that, it's a long period of time to get a return on your investment, and therefore looking at it from a business sense, there are other things that I could do here on the farm that would provide a quicker return on investment. So very interested to see what you guys think, so please drop a comment if you've got any experience or you can enlighten me in any way, shape or form on what your enterprise has been, and we'll see how the sums come out in the end. So that's it for today on the farm. If you like what you've seen, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.